What's up, guys? It's your boy Spiritual Bodybuilder here, and I'm here for another video about spiritual growth. This one is going to be about that 10 signs that you've already had a spiritual awakening. Now, sometimes it's a little confusing. You know, the spiritual awakening process happens different for everyone. It's completely unique to our energy. Our natal chart in astrology is the blueprint that we came into this lifetime and agreed to certain soul missions or soul objectives. And the spiritual awakening is something that a lot of people are going through right now. Mine happened originally back in 2010. And it has brought me to places that I never thought I would go. I never thought I'd be on here speaking to people on YouTube about this process. So this is a period of time of extreme growth, spiritually, consciously, unconsciously, and sometimes it can be confusing. You might feel like you're losing your mind, right? And honestly, in this society, we are conditioned to believe that we are going crazy, that there's something wrong with us. And that's one thing that, you know, I feel the Western medical system sort of lacks about, because think about it. All these different diagnoses, right? And I'm speaking more in the sense of like psychological diagnoses right now than the other side, but we can get into that later. They're making you believe, or they're identifying that something's wrong with you. And now just that thought process is counter to our soul's intelligence and our soul's growth. And here's why. Because there is nothing wrong with us. Instead of looking at things like disease, like when you think of the word disease, there's a vibration with that word, right? So they say depression is a disease. So that means that there's something wrong with you, that it's not your fault, right? And that whole "it's not your fault" thing, that's the victim mentality. The fact is, there is no fault. It's created to keep us in fear. We're afraid that we're broken, right? And then in order to fix the broken, we have to manipulate our body through medications, through surgeries and such, in order to be able to come back down to earth and be centered. And all that does is it suppresses the energies of that raising the vibration process. As we suppress things, or as we like alter things, like especially biochemically in our body, that is killing the body's ability to transform, transmute, and grow. And we live in a society that tells us to do that in everything. And I believe that our society is changing, because let's face it, it ain't working. They're saying that by the year 2032, 1 in 2 children are going to have autism. That's disturbing, because it wasn't even heard of 30 years ago. Think about that. The powers that be don't want us to grow, because then they're not going to have the control. And our entire economy is based on that control mechanism for all these certain, you know, 1%ers to make all the money. And we're here to change that. So 10 signs that you've already had a spiritual awakening. Number 1, ups and downs. And these ups and downs can be massive, you know, like, and what's the number 1 diagnosis for ups and downs? Bipolar disorder, right? So really, we are all multipolar, because we all have many different archetypes of personality and communication in our mind. And if you'd like to know more about that, look up Caroline Myss. She has created an exceptional structure for archetypes in our consciousness that's related to our energetic centers. I highly recommend her. But these ups and downs are going to come and go. And so you may like, what the hell's wrong with me? Like one day I feel like I weigh 1,000 pounds and I can't get out of bed. And all I can really muster the energy to do is binge on Netflix shows. Then the next day I have so much energy, but I can't shut my mind down, and I feel chaotic, and I'm having anxiety and panic attacks. And the next day I feel normal and fine. And all of a sudden it goes all over the place again. It's completely unpredictable. This is, so when you have an awakening, your kundalini activates, it opens up. And when that happens, it's going through your energetic centers, and each energetic center represents a certain set of emotions or personality traits, right? And as those open up, if there are blockages, it's going to blast through those blockages. When that does that, it's going to bring these issues that we have not dealt with into our conscious awareness, okay? And so whenever there's energies that need to be processed, it has to come through our five senses, right? So we may see like or remember things from a smell, back 15 years ago, and then out of nowhere we feel anxiety or feel like, like uncomfortable in our skin. And we have to understand that when we have these ups and downs, the key is to center ourselves and slow down and realize and understand the bigger picture that, okay, I'm going through this because I'm growing. Clearly, I have some things to let go of. I'm going to be honest with myself. What's going on here? And let it go through you. That is only temporary. Normally, the ups and downs, like once you make the necessary changes, like say you're an addict, right? And you don't think or you don't realize you're an addict. Well, these things are going to happen. So every time you do that act or take that thing that is your addiction, it's going to get harder and harder or clearer and clearer that this shit ain't working. And then you're just going to be trying to find some other things. And it's going to keep getting like, it's sort of like a noose wrapping tighter and tighter, forcing you out of your comfort zone to figure out another way, right? And eventually you're going to find a healthy way. And then you're going to realize, holy shit, I've been addicted to sex, stimulants, heroin, people, work, places, you name it. We can be addicted to anything. An addiction is when something throws our life out of balance, when we basically don't have our priorities straight, all right? So the ups and downs are normal in this process. It's temporary. And the way to go through that is to understand this first. And then when they hit, honor it, but in a healthy way, okay? Because it's going to go away. Number two, life situations are breaking down. So the person we were before our spiritual awakening is not the person that we're growing into. We're going to change our belief systems. We are going to change the way that we think. We are going to change the things that we love to do. And whatever situations in our life that serve the old us, okay, because our vibration is changing, it's no longer a match to that vibration. And when that happens, they will break down. And if we try to hold on to it, it'll make the breakdown harder and harder. So the key here, when things start to break down, it's uncomfortable. We have to get comfortable with that discomfort, and we have to go into it, right? That can be difficult, but again, just the awareness of this will make it that much easier. And just remember that it's only temporary, okay? It's going to go by. We're going to get out of it. Number three, being around people that trigger you becomes difficult. So now that we're getting more energetically sensitive, we're raising our vibration, we're opening up these chakras, we're going to feel energy much stronger. And the people that, maybe before there was like this underlying tone of like a disagreement or something that we didn't get along about, that underlying tone is going to come up. It's not going to be so underlying anymore. And eventually, if we don't go away from it, the bubble's going to pop, and there's going to be some kind of explosion when it comes to our emotions with that triggering person. But every trigger is meant to teach us something. So the key is when people are triggering you, ask yourself, why did I invite this energy into my world, into my universe? What is it trying to teach me? That is a question of taking responsibility for your life. Once you start asking questions like that, you may not understand it right away, but it will unfold, and you will start to get these aha moments, these synchronicities, and that is the universe talking to you. That is your higher self connecting. And when you start to really be able to understand that and almost even control it, because that comes through controlling our emotional body, that is when things start to light up and things start to move fast in a positive direction, okay? So, number four. Difficulty finding joy in the things that you used to enjoy. All right. So I remember when I had my like basic awakening, I guess you could say, in 2010 when I was in Iraq, and that guided me to a whole new life. And then a few years later, in 2014, I had another massive awakening. This is after my last bodybuilder competition in 2013, where I did very, very poorly. And I was going to massage school in 2014. And in massage school, we had to sit back and do what's called getting into our beingness before every time we worked on someone. And that was basically like, a couple hours a day. And then we're working on people, that's sort of like, meditational too. And before that, I was super high strung. I had so much anxiety and I was so ego driven, and I didn't understand that. And I didn't know that there was another way. So as I started slowing down and doing all this meditation, I had what's called a massive SER, somato-emotional release, because all this stress and tension we hold in our body. And when we finally ready to let go of that, it all has to come out somehow. It was like I was having like a seizure for like 2 hours. It was crazy. After that, my vibration raised and changed so much. I no longer wanted to eat 6 times a day. I no longer had the same passion or motivation for bodybuilding. It was different. I was so obsessed with it for so long that it became dysfunctional. And I started to have digestive issues because, from the hardcore dieting back and forth, it threw my gut out of whack. And I started having a lot of these issues. And all of a sudden, like, I literally could not do the things that I used to do. It just drove me nuts. But at the same time, I didn't really know what I did like to do. The only thing that I really knew at that time was that I was really good at giving body work. So and when I do body work, I get into that meditative state, and I just started really focusing on that because that was sort of where my happy place was. So you're going to find that you may not know where you're going, and it may be frustrating that you don't want to do the things that you used to do, but you're going to be naturally guided to something that you just feel so drawn to. And you want to shift your focus onto that one thing, and you're not going to know, you're not going to figure it out, but just allow yourself to be present with it and enjoy doing whatever it is that you love doing at that point. And eventually, as you learn to trust the process, all these things about this deeper part of you that you didn't even know existed until now are going to become apparent to you. And then you're going to realize, hey, wow, I have a gift. And I want to share this gift with the world. Because if you're watching this, there's a good chance that, you're like me. You're just here to change the world, one person at a time, from the experiences that you've had in your life. Okay? You feel called to a purpose that doesn't seem like you. So like we were just saying with number 5, you don't really know who you are yet, and you're going in this direction that you don't fully understand. And as you go in that direction, you're going to start to realize, wow, I'm really good at this. And I had no idea that I even had this skill. Or I'm really good at, I really love doing this. And it's getting more comfortable the more I do it. And the drive, that feeling called to your divine purpose is going to get stronger and stronger and stronger. Now, it's going to be confusing. You mix that in with the ups and downs and all these things going on. And that's, again, where you just need to come back to yourself and just chill out a little bit and trust, like, no, all right, everything's coming to me. We don't have to go out there to get it. And that's the biggest shift that I've noticed, is that I used to try to get out there and network and make things happen and put deals together and, just bust my ass in every single way. But now I'm realizing it's not about that. When you're solid in yourself, you just hold the vibration of, I know that things are coming to me. And you hold that, and you know what? At the last minute, or when you really absolutely need it, it starts to come in. And then the more you trust it, it comes in faster and better and more efficiently. Okay, so keep that in mind. All right. Number 7, you develop an obsessive desire to learn spiritual topics because now all of a sudden you're seeing these videos or you're seeing these posts, and it really speaks to you. You're like, oh my God, they get it. Oh my, like, that's exactly how I feel. This is so crazy. It's because really at the foundation, everybody that's going through this process is dealing with the same thing, because we all have the 5 senses, right? Most of us do. Some people are blind or deaf, but for the most part, we all operate in the same system in our biology. So that's why there are other people out there going through this. And, that is reassurance right there. But this desire will just be like insatiable. You'll just want to want to learn and know and feel everything because it's teaching you about you, right? And the more you understand it, the more you're able to embody it, because you know we learn things for usually first intellectually, and then we have to make it experiential. And in order to do that, we have to be it. You can know a lot of things and not be it, and you're not going to get anywhere. Experience is the best teacher. But if you have both, then you understand it and you see how it works. You see how you work and you see where you're going, and then you like you have a greater and deeper appreciation for every step that you take. Right. So, number 8, chronic uncertainty. And this can be difficult, especially when you're having big ups and downs. You don't know where the hell you're going, right? Because your soul is going to this new place that has never been before. So you have no guidance. Like, nothing is the same. And especially if you're really like a control freak, this is gonna dissolve that control freakness in you, because you can't control this, and you really don't want to. Once you realize that, you know, the universe is conspiring in your favor, and you truly believe that down to your core, the good things will happen, but it's going to happen in an uncertain way. So realize that. And, you know, right now I'm making this, Uranus just went into Taurus, and the uncertainty is shaking the ground that we walk on. We are going through a massive transformation right now, and there's always going to be people going through this transformation, especially as the more of us raise our vibration, the more stronger and powerful it's going to be. Similar to like the 100th monkey effect. If you don't know what that is, just Google it. It's pretty interesting. Okay, so number 9, you feel like you have a sense of support from the universe. Now, there is a period of time during the dark night of the soul where you may feel you're in what's called the void. Okay, the void is feeling cut off, disconnected from the universe. And that part is usually the darkest part of the journey, but it is temporary. And it's like, just when you think you can't take anymore, boom, you're going to get a sign from the universe. And then you're going to be good for a little while, and then just when you think, and then boom, and then the signs and the feeling that you're supported is going to get stronger and stronger. You just have to trust that that's coming. I promise you it is, and you're going to be fine. You don't need to suppress yourself in any way, shape, or form, because you're going to make it through. And the more you relax and surrender into it, the better, you know. But that, we have to get out of our ego. We have to get out of our heads. We have to, you know, feel that pain, feel that feeling. So, you know, take it easy on yourself. And number 10, you have a feeling that you're not the only one going through this. Now, again, sometimes, especially in that void space, you may feel that you're alone. However, as the process goes, you will start to learn and realize, holy crap, everybody's going through this. When it's more of a sense of, you know, like when you're seeking out all this spiritual knowledge, you start to connect the dots and realize, and then that's going to help you become stronger in your assurance that things are going in the right direction. Okay, so if you are experiencing any or all of these signs, I just want to say that you're on the right track, and it may not feel like it right now or all the time. But when those feelings do come in that tell you, okay, this is good for me, this is the direction that I know I have to go, and it sucks, but I'm making it happen, refer to this video and others like it, and just to reassure yourself whenever you need it that, hey, I got this. I'm going to make it through, and I'm changing for the better. Trust in that, and everything is going to work out the way, in divine timing, the way it's meant to work out. Okay? So, thank you for watching. Thank you for liking, commenting, sharing, subscribing, all that stuff. I love you guys so much. Please let me know in the comments below if this stuff resonates with you. And I hope you have a fantastic day. Much love and blessings.